guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to do a quick video today showing you my stampers, what I prefer and what I don't like. So this was my original stamper. So it is a little Conad stamper and it's what I used for about a year before I discovered something else. Really nice little stamper, very, very small, quite firm, and I'm only keeping this because it's my first ever stamper and I have sentimental attachment. But other than that, I don't use this one anymore. I have moved on to this one here. Now this is $2.50 from eBay. It is the best stamper I've ever used. Now I've had this one probably for 2 years and it's starting to crack, as you can see there. So I have just today opened a new one. I've got about 10 of these stashed just in case they disappear from stock. I'm just showing you there the little end of it. It is a squishy end, but not quite as squishy. So there is the new stamper, and exactly the same, just clean, nice and new, and I love this one more than any other stamper I've ever used. Okay, so this next one is the much talked about creative stamper. Now, my view on this is that it is a good stamper, but I think it is exceptionally overpriced. I'm just showing you there the head is much bigger than my normal stamper. It's very, very soft and sticky. It stamps nicely, but for the cost of it, I just don't think it is as good as the one that I currently use. I do like how it stamps, don't get me wrong, but it cost me about $23, whereas the other one, this one here, $2.50. Okay, so these next two, these were both sent to me by MoYou London, and obviously this is a double-headed stamper and that one is the rectangular stamper on the right. Same size head, I think maybe marginally smaller. Pretty much exactly the same, stamps really nicely. The smaller end is the same as the larger end on this one, and I prefer that to the red end on that stamp there. Stamps really nicely, I'll show you that in a minute. Now the other one, I have a massive aversion to rectangular stampers. This one, however, is fabulous. Now, I didn't think I'd like it, but I do. Now this is two other ones that I have, and I hate them with a passion. That one there is hard and horrible, doesn't stamp nicely. The white one is slightly squishier and slightly larger, but again, I really don't like these two. So these are the two I would recommend not using under any circumstances. I just don't think they're any good. Whereas the MoYou London one is a lot squishier, it's a lot bigger, it's a lot wider, and it stamps really nicely. So those two basically I keep to show you what not to buy. And that is all the ones that I have there, and I'm going to do a stamping demo, as I said, and show you how each one stamps. And I'm using my Nail Stamping Queen black polish and a Born Pretty stamping plate. Now I have a discount code for that, which you will see on the screen now. So it's a 10% off code for the Born Pretty store. So let's get started with the stamping. So I'm going in with my black polish. I'm just going to cover hopefully the same part of the stamping plate as I go along on each stamper. So just pop a bit of polish on, scrape off, and immediately pop onto your stamper. So I'm starting with my favourite one, and as you can see, that's a great image. Okay, same again with the newer stamper from eBay. So I'm just going to pop it on the plate, scrape, and pop it onto the stamper, and then I'm going to hold up the stamper next to the older stamper. There's a lot of stampers in here, and as you can see, it's very, very nice. So moving on to the MoYou London larger end of the double-ended stamper, exactly the same again, on, perfect. And then with the smaller end, so again, plonk it on, scrape, stamp, and again, really, really nice crisp image. This is a good stamper, very recommended. And then I'm following on with my rectangular MoYou stamper. So I'm scraping, plonking it on, and again, really, really crisp. And last but not least, the very much talked about creative stamper. So scrape, and I'm rolling this here, and I get a lovely crisp image. Okay, so that is that, and for the first time ever, I've got a really, really good image on my creative. Don't get me wrong, this does stamp nicely, but it's always usually washed out compared to the others. So I'll just show you them all. So I'll start off with the original stamper, my original eBay stamper, and then the new one that I've just used today. Now I have primed this, and by priming, I mean I have lightly buffed it with a file, and then I've just cleaned it off, stamped, If it didn't work, then I've done it again. Now I have a priming video, so I will link that below. Some people like that way of priming, others don't. There are other techniques. This is the one I use. So as you can see, the old stamper has got a much crisper image. This one probably needs still a little bit more work, but I'm very happy with how that's turned out. So the next one is my large MoYou stamper, and I love this. This is absolutely crisp, perfect image. And so is the other end when it focuses, which is there. There you go. So maybe a little bit not as thick on the lines, but definitely a really, really lovely image. And that one's perfect. So I'm 100% happy with that one. Then my squishy rectangular one, which I usually would steer clear of like the plague. I really like this. So these MoYou stampers are very, very well worth the money. I'll pop the links to them below, along with everything else I'm talking about, apart from the ones I hate. And then obviously the creative stamper. So, in my opinion, this is definitely a good stamper, but I recommend this one above it. And as you can see, look, some people love this, some people don't like this, they can't get them to work. So it's personal preference, but for the money that I spent on this creative stamper, I could have got, 1, 2, 3, 4, probably 8, 9 of these. So I will use everything, but I just wanted to show you them. So that is that. Okay, so that is all 5 laid out there. I'm just showing you all of them together, and I recommend all of them, but I honestly do think my little cheap $2.50 ones are amazing. I would then recommend, based on price alone, I would recommend the MoYou over the creative stamper, but please don't get me wrong, because I really do like the creative stamper. Now I'm just showing you the scrapers here. These come with the $2.50 stamper. I don't like them. They don't scrape evenly, so I never bother with those. Now that again is your Born Pretty stamping plate, which I love. It's very, very, very nice to stamp with, and I have got a review coming up, and as I said, I have got a code, so I'll link that below so you know what that is. And that is everything, guys. So I'm just going to finish up the video here. Okay, so I've just done a bit of a screenshot here because I didn't actually end the video properly, but guys, I hope this helped you, and I know it's a bit of a wonky screenshot, so apologies. That's all the stampers though. I highly recommend all of them, and of course it is your personal preference based on what you think of what I've showed you, what you think you can afford. They're all really good, but they all do vary in prices from $2.50 to around $20, $23 if you're in Australia. So guys, I hope you liked it. Thumbs up if you did. Please subscribe to my channel. Any comments you've got, pop them in the comments box below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. And I pop all of the description information in the description bar below, along with the code for the Born Pretty plates. Okay, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.